Hello there, friends. It's Simone, your favorite neighborhood nerd. Benu recently contacted me again if I wanted to share another pen with you. And I said, yes, send me one of your hand-painted pens. And so they did. I chose the Summer Magic fountain pen with a fine nib. And then, because I thought nobody had showed that on YouTube, and I was really drawn to the motifs on there. And then I found that Allison had actually just recently shared that one. But that's okay. I was drawn to it, and I want to share a little bit about my first impression, the pen, compare it to some other pens, and show you some colors that I find work really well with this pen. So, as usual, Benu pens come in these very sturdy cardboard boxes. There is a long standard international cartridge included, and the ink that is in here is Diamine Oxford Blue. This is where the pen is inside. I have actually already taken it out and inked it up. And then you have the product information and lifetime warranty that talks about how to care for the product. It doesn't show you how to actually ink it up. That's interesting. I thought there was photos on there, or graphics to show you. I really like the Benu packaging because I can actually just throw it away. And it's also very small and good to care for. So I want to show you the pen now. Here it is. This is the Summer Magic fountain pen. It is in the Euphoria model. It has silver embossing and a silver clip, and then also a silver toned steel nib. The one that I chose is fine. So let me read the product description, and this is where my weird deep dive started. This stunning creation, designed in deep purple, evokes the mystical hues of a tropical night under full moon, contrasted by shimmering pink flecks that capture the essence of a vibrant summer blossom. Yep, so far so good. The bottom half of the pen is made of emerald resin with a chameleon effect, and I find that you can actually see it changing a little bit towards purple, blue. I see more blue than purple, which beautifully transitions from green to purple and adds a true touch of magic. Adorned with the exquisite artwork of our talented artist, Ninel Gevorgyan. No, that's not right. Ninel Gevorgyan, Summer Magic is more than a writing instrument. It is a work of art. Immerse yourself in the enchantment of this captivating piece, without a doubt, the perfect addition to your collection. And I just love the attention to detail. Do you see my fingers don't help, the eyes of this stork and the different hues in now I've forgotten what the flappies are called. The wings of the bird. I love the way that this looks. But here's the thing. I was like, what? These storks are present in the tropics on a tropical night? That feels kind of odd. But then I started doing some research, and this is a white stork, obviously. And they are habitat living. Let's just talk simple speak. in 2 species. I'm quoting from Wikipedia here. White and black stork reach Europe and Western temperate Asia, while 1 species, oriental stork, reaches temperate areas of Eastern Asia, and 1 species, black-necked stork, is found in Australasia. Australasia? How do you pronounce that? I don't know. So the most part of the storks are in tropical Asia and sub-Saharan Africa, with 8 and 6 breeding species respectively. Just 3 species are present in the New World: wood stork, maguari stork, and jabiru, maybe that's how you pronounce it, which is the tallest flying bird of the Americas. Now, that was super interesting to me because for me, storks were these white storks, and I did not expect there to be so much variety. And you should totally check out that Wikipedia article because there's photos linked and you can see what they look like. And they look nothing. The only thing that resembles the stork is the build of the body. Now, I'm not 100% sure if you would find a white stork in a tropical night like this, or if that would be a different species. I know that the storks that live in Western Europe, like this white stork, would migrate to warmer climates for winter. So maybe they are there? I have no idea. But if you know more about storks, I would love to hear that. And then I was like, so why was I drawn to this without even reading the product description? Because if I had read this, I don't know if I would have gone for this, because it just sounds odd to me that a white stork would be in the tropics. But then again, they are migrating in the winter, so they would probably be found there. I don't know. I thought about this a little bit more and came across this. And then I was like, yeah, that's why these storks feel so familiar. This is a picture book. I didn't come across it. I remembered that Dr. Alfred Triebke is my husband's great uncle, and he gifted this book to us, and he drew all of those paintings here are by him. And I think the reason why I was so drawn to this specific fountain pen and to these images is because of this book. There you have the backstory. I don't know how much you hear from in the background. Max is here chewing on a bone. I don't have anybody else to keep him company, and I cannot leave him unsupervised. So this is the best I can do right now. I want to compare it to the Benu talisman. The Euphoria is much bigger. It is also a faceted pen. This is how it lays in my hand. And if I'm taking the talisman, then you can see how that lays in my hand. It is shorter. The circumference back here, where it lays in the crook of my hand, is quite narrow. It's a bit narrower. This looks like it's still inked, but it's not. Nope, clean. The grip sections, however, are identical. Maybe I should unscrew the nib and clean this a little bit better. This looks not good, Simone. Okay, the grip sections are the same. So if you like the grip section on the talisman, you probably will like the grip section on the Euphoria. As you can see, the nibs are easily removable, and you can exchange it with any other Schmidt nib. Now, there have been more nibs added to the Benu lineup, like I think flex nibs and stub nibs. Those are Jowo nibs, and so you would need a completely different grip section because the threading on these, oh, I should not unscrew this because it's already inked. The threading on these do not match the threading on the Schmitz, the Jowo nibs. So just in case you were wondering. Now I want to show, just if you don't have a Benu talisman or have never used a Benu Euphoria before, then I just want to show you really quickly. The tiniest Benu is the Benu Pixie. It looks kind of eeny teeny beeny weeny next to this Euphoria. But it becomes quite a good size pen when you post it, like so. I did bring out my trusty comparison pens though, so that you can see them. And then I'll read you the measurements because I've had Benu Euphorias in my collection since 2021, I believe, I think. Yes, February 2021 was my first Benu Euphoria. I still have that. That speaks to how much I like the shape and feel of that pen in my hand. This is it next to a Lamy Safari and a TWSBI Eco, and here is a Sharpie in comparison. Let's quickly uncap all those pens. Now, obviously, the Benu Euphoria has a number 6 nib, so the nib is significantly bigger than the Lamy and the TWSBI nibs. And then here is the Sharpie. So the Euphoria is definitely the biggest pen in this lineup. And as you can see, if you hold this pen at the section here, your distance, the nib tip, the distance of your hand from the paper is closer when you use a Lamy or a TWSBI than if you use a Benu Euphoria, just because the nib is bigger. The pen posts. Now, I have not that is super interesting. There is nothing really written in the product description on how to take care of these hand painted pens. Maybe I need to go closer to the product details. But so it posts, it makes this pen super unwieldy and back heavy. I don't want to let it go, but it pulls it back down out of my hand. And I also don't think I would want to post this with the painting right here where it's covered by the cap. So let's quickly do some research on the, please bear in mind that the photo, no, this is not the Pixie. Is this Summer Magic? No, about. Where did it go? Here. Please bear in mind that the photo may slightly differ from the actual item in terms of color due to the lighting during photo shooting on the monitor or the monitor's display. Moreover, each of these unique pens are hand painted. This means each pen slightly differs in artwork and as such is one of a kind. Although all defining elements will be present, we unfortunately can't guarantee their exact position on the barrel. Relying on a handmade process for these gorgeous works of art rather than machinery production is what makes each pen piece truly unique. This fountain pen comes with a standard international converter, blah, blah, blah. So, doesn't say anything about how to take care of this specific hand-painted pen. Okay, and then warranty, unlimited warranty against defects in materials and workmanship. And then delivery, just global shipping. Okay, no, doesn't say anything. That's interesting. So, let's open this up to a new page. And I just want to put down some information right here, show you a writing sample of this, and then we'll do some inks that I picked because I think they would work really well with this pen over here. So let's do that then. This is the Summer Magic. It is hand painted. And let me quickly check again what the artist's name is. Ninel. I wonder Gevorgyan. Is this how it's written? Yes. I chose a fine nib, fine steel nib. It's a Schmidt, and you can swap in any other Schmidt nibs. These are actually available not just through Benu, but through other retailers, probably in your country. So you could totally buy one pen and then add more nibs, buy more spare nibs, and then just interchange the nibs. What else? Fine steel nib. Here is downstrokes, side strokes, upstrokes. It's fairly wet. I do have a snippets from my desk video where I inked up this pen, and it did not write extremely well at first, and I had to tweak a little. It was really like just pressing down a little harder, like I wanted to flex it, not to the point that I would spring the tines, but just a tiny bit to make this a little bit more flowy. But now, as you can see, it works really well. The ink that I have in here is Kobe number 22 Shinkaichi gold. All right, so measurements. I measured my pens when I documented them in my journal, so we don't have to go through all of this. The length, so what do I have? The length capped or closed length is 14.8 centimeters. The length uncapped, oh yeah, it's capped, obviously. I was totally not sure if that was the right one. 13.8 centimeters. Now, the length posted, I did not measure because it is too unwieldy. Do not recommend. It's extremely back heavy. So, what else? The diameter of the grip is 10.25 millimeters. And I think that's a good amount of diameter, circumference, to hold it comfortably. It is, for me, on the lower end of comfortability, but it still works okay. The weight is, well, let me check. 27 grams, capped or posted, and then uncapped it is 15 grams. Wow. Now let's check quickly for cap rotations. So we have, I'm just going to look when this Benu comes back to this here. We have 1 rotation, and then this is half, 2, and 2.5, 2.5 cap rotations. So that's it for my information part. Let's pick some inks and go from here. I am not going to put down first impressions because I really don't have much to say. I really like the pen, really like the attention to detail. That could be something that I could write down. But to be honest, I know that I love the Benu Euphoria, so this is a no-brainer for me. I don't really have anything negative to say. The only thing that I might is this really true that a white stork would be in a tropical climate? But that is like preference. If you have a problem like this, then you just don't choose this pen. But what I can say about the artwork is that it's absolutely stunning. So let's go and check out some matches. I pulled out 5 inks that I thought would work really well with this pen. And let's go, and I need a clip. Clippity clip, do we have one? No, obviously not. The first ink that I pulled out is Waterman Tender Purple. It is the only bright purple that I own. So obviously, if I'm talking about a purple pen, well, I guess I'll match it with that. But actually, I think it works extremely well with the body of the pen. I think it picks up that purple perfectly. And so we're just going to distribute the ink right here. Also, by the way, if you wonder where I got this idea from, this has not grown on my pile of crap. This comes from the brilliant mind of Julia, from Julia here. She has shared these ink match posts on Instagram, and I absolutely admire them. And so obviously I wanted to do that too. So there you go. This is not an idea that I had. This is a Julia here idea. All right, let me write here, Waterman. This ink is a very wet ink, and so it might not be, if you like ink gushing out of your pen, this is a good choice. Most of the time, the nibs that I have, the Schmidt nibs that I have, are really wet writers, and so this might gush out of that pen. But do you see how really nicely this works with each other? Yep, this is a good idea. And then I stumbled across this is not a purple. Larme de Cassis by Jacques Herbin. And I think if the ink looks as it does on my swatch card, it might pick up these, what did it say? The pink blossoms of this pen, of these sparklies. This is the reason why I have a need to talk to Larme de Cassis in private, is because it won March Madness Purple this year on my Discord. And this ink is lovely and it is really nice, but it is not purple. Let's call it Cassis magenta. Not even magenta. I don't even know what I would call this. It's definitely not purple. That's for sure. So Larme de Cassis and we need to chat. So here we go. What I notice, even though this is just a brass nib and it does not indicate the ink flow of an ink in a pen perfectly, is that this just fell onto the paper off this nib. The Larme de Cassis is not as easy to jump over. Now let's look at this ink that is in here. There is a reason why I picked this. The easiest reason for this is because it worked really well with the color story that I was telling in my July Currently Inked, and so I picked it. But also I found that it is almost the exact same color as the moon here. Can you see that? So let's put that onto the paper. It also does not dry to this color down here for sure. So, oh, I was dripping over here. It goes down a little bit greener than what so in order to match this moon, we are looking at the dried color of this ink and not as the color that it goes down as, because that is definitely not. This is more olivey, swampy green than this moon over here. However, when it's dry, you will be able to see what I'm talking about. And also, if you just glimpse over to the left underneath the pen, that's also where you can totally see that. So this is Kobe. Shin Kai Chi Gold. Yeah, this looks nice. I like this. I didn't, when I looked through my ink and I was picking an ink color for this pen, I did not think that I would pick this ink. But when I looked through and was like, what is missing? What do I need to get a full rainbow? Because that's the only thing I'm curious about. This popped up, and when I noticed that it's the exact same color as the moon, I was like, yeah, well then, of course, I have to do this. Now, the next one that I picked is Earl Grey, and there isn't really a gray in here. Maybe if you wanted to pull it out of this, then maybe in the shading of the wings of the bird, there's a little bit. But so now I'm just hoping or trusting on my ink card, which is on Tsubame OK Fool's paper. It looks very moody. And I just felt like this would work really well. So this is not necessarily taken from the colors of the pen. I'm sure you could find it in the birds, though. More taken from the mood that this pen evokes in me. And I saw it in this. Now, some inks obviously don't dry the same on different papers. So we'll see what this looks like when it's dry on this Sanzen Tomoe River paper. On the OK Fool's paper, the way that it looked made me think of this pen. When I flipped through, I was like, yeah, actually, I really like how this looks together. So there is some reddish undertones, and if you look closer, it kind of splits up into different colors, and I'm curious to see how it dries, because that's what I see. The thing that I'm thinking will happen is what I see and why I think it will work with this pen. So this is Diamine, Earl Grey. Now, I didn't even think about this before I pulled out the inks. I just purely went by color. But there is, oh, you know what I'm seeing here? Let me show you. Can you see the greenish sheen on the Waterman Tender Purple, which is very subtle? This is just because there's so much ink on that swatch. But this is even better because there's this green sheen on the bottom of the pen, and then you have this whole purple pen. I like that a lot. So you dry to the way that I want you to dry, and then I will continue talking about what I started before I went on this tangent. Now, I think that these three are quite accessible inks everywhere, and they're also quite affordable. And then the Shinkaichi Gold, as well as this ink, which I don't know the name of, so I need to pull out the card. It is another Kobe ink, number 82, Maya Kaigan Apple Green. And for some reason, even though, like, when I'm holding it so that it looks more yellow-green, I can see this ink in this pen. So let's see if this is a no-go for you. I haven't put it in the pen, I haven't seen it swatched, but I just felt like this might be a thing that could work. So let's go and add this here as well. Oh, nice. I am not really gravitating towards this ink. I bought this at the San Francisco Pen Show in 2023. I don't even remember if I inked this in a pen or not, but this swatch is actually really nice. I kind of want this in a pen now. So maybe this is one that I can put in a pen at the end of, in August, not at the end of the month. So, okay, let's write this here. Kobe, number 82, Maya, Kaigan, Apple Green. So now that I have swatched all of those inks, what do you think? Which one is your favorite of them all? I find that they all really work extremely well with this pen. Maybe the Earl Grey is an outlier, but yeah, I really like this. I can see these blue-grey grays in, maybe that's why I pulled it even out, but I really like it. I can see that this will work really well with each other. This is a moody pen and this is a moody ink, and maybe that's why I picked it. So I am super grateful to Benu that they reached out again and asked for another collaboration. I was more than happy to say yes. I think this is gonna be a really lovely pen in my collection. Do you have any of the hand-painted pens from Benu? I'd love to hear. And if you do, let me know which one you picked. These are just so stunning. Even the moon, it's not, I mean, of course it's not just flat, but I would totally just paint this moon yellow circle, done, and then wonder why it doesn't look good. But man, the attention to detail here is so stunning. I know that on their Instagram sometimes they share those painted pens. I don't know if they shared an actual reel of how it is painted, but I would love to see that. Okay, so there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Until next time, bye.